Hey, hello, and welcome to another episode of Kuma's Kitchen. And today I've got something here called Cassoulet. Well, I'd say Kevin Riley Kuma's Kitchen version of a cassoulet. Cassoulet is a French sausage, chicken, and pork and bean stew. Or I guess it's more like a casserole, because we do it in a big stew pot like this and kind of semi-stew it, but it's cooked in the oven. So it's great because once you get this started, you just pop it in the oven and you can do whatever. It's a one pot dish, and I know there's a couple people out there, Jeanette, who love this, right? One pot dishes, and also very little watching, because you just pop it in the oven, 2 hours in the oven. So do allow time, get to start a little earlier in the day, but you've got 2 hours of it just cooking away in the oven. And look at this. You can't quite see it in this camera right now, but unfortunately there's a nice crust on top, and then down inside there's like, bratwurst sausages, pieces of bacon. I guess it wasn't pork. Bacon is what I should have said when I introduced it, and chicken. And cannellini beans, and just goodness. So let's go in the kitchen and make this right now. For our cassoulet, pardon my French, which is absolutely terrible. What we got is, these are all the ingredients right here, right now. Across the front, I've got 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of dried thyme, 1 tablespoon of dried rosemary, 1/4 cup of butter, 1/2 cup of Panko breadcrumbs. Next line here. Well, first of all, 1 large onion. I got 2 small onions too. A lot of onions. So 1 large onion chopped. 2 leeks cut into about 1 inch or 25 millimeter long pieces. Here, the garlic. Okay, this is actually 2 whole heads of garlic. And just all you do is just cutting the end off the cloves and peeling them. Now, some of them are just whole cloves like this one, but this garlic had really massive cloves in it, so I've cut some of them in half. Yes, basically, if you got a smaller cloves, just leave them whole. We're just going to throw them in as is. So that's 2 heads. Then, next line is the meat. All right, this is 12 ounces or 340 grams or 6 bratwurst sausages. And I've cut them, just about 3/4 of an inch long, or about 20 millimeters long. Good chunks of sausage. The bacon block. This is also 12 ounces or 340 grams of bacon block. It comes in a block that looks kind of like this, like a long block piece. And then I'll just cut it across about 1/2 inch or about 12 millimeters thick. So you got these big thick chunks of concrete. Yeah, that's good. Bacon block in there. And then chicken. That is 1 1/4 pounds or 600 grams of chicken thigh. Cut up into bite-sized pieces. And you notice that there's pieces of fat and stuff in here, skin. You want to leave everything in there, because a real cassoulet is usually cooked with a bunch of duck fat, which is not always the easiest thing to get a hold of, but chicken fat, just as good. And so we want to leave that in there. Get the more fat in there. We got the butter, and we got from the bacon and all this. Give it a lot of flavor. Then across the back, this is 2 cans, the 14-ounce cans of cannellini beans, rinsed and drained, ready to go in there. Now, it's not always easy to get cannellini beans, especially here in Japan right now. It's been really difficult. So cannellini are kind of a kidney bean. You could throw regular kidney beans in there. Cassoulet would come out a different color, but hey, still be good, so whichever. Liquids across the back. I've got here 1 cup of white wine. You might notice that white wine is a little dark in color. It's been sitting in the bottle for a long time, and it's not vinegar in that, but it's gone from a wine to just about I had a little taste of it, like a sherry, basically. It tastes a bit more like a sherry. So, white wine, no, a cup. We use that for deglazing and then adding liquid. And in here, I've got 2 cups of beef stock or chicken stock, whichever is fine, just some kind of stock. Now, let's get things started. First thing we're going to do is get that butter in there. And we want to get that butter melting, so I'm going to bring that up on medium heat. And I'm going to use this guy to just kind of move it around a bit and speed up the process of melting. All right, that should be melted in about a minute. Be right back. All right, butter's all melted, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to toss in the onions. And then I'm going to sprinkle the salt and pepper over top of that. Salt. Pepper. All right. Now we'll stir. I'm going to toss in the sausages. I'm going to toss in the bacon. I got a lot's going in here, right? And the chicken. All right. Now I'm going to cook that, stirring it around, get a little browning happening. This is not critical. Yes, the word I'm looking for. It's not critical to get everything browned nicely. I just want to get things started. So about 12, 15 minutes. And then it's going to cook down a little bit, stir in some of the other ingredients, and then it's going in the oven. It's that simple. All right, that's been cooking for just under 15 minutes. If you look down here, you can see chicken's got a little bit of browning happening. Some of the pieces of bacon, some of the sausages. So that's absolutely perfect. It's been cooking away. I've been going through here, turning it over every once in a while so that everything gets a chance to cook a bit. Oh, look at that. That's a beautiful piece of browning on there. All right, so now what I want to do, we're going to add in, well, first, let's add in these 2 herbs, because it's going to be easier to mix while I still got a low level of stuff in here. I just want to get that throughout. Ooh, that rosemary smells great. All right, so we're going to mix that around in there a bit. Ooh, that's hot. And let's get the garlic in there. I want to put the beans in last because I don't want to break them up too much. I get the leeks in there. Mix that around a bit. Oh, jumping overboard. He's like, you're not cooking me. Oh, yes, I am. You're all going in there. All right, so we mix that around a bit. All right, I want to get that white wine in there. Now, if there's anything that got stuck to the bottom during that first little bit of cooking, just scrape through there and make sure you deglaze that bottom. It's looking pretty good in this one, so that's fine. All right. Again, pushing the capacity of the pot to the max, but we'll be fine. All right, let's get the rest of that white wine in there. White wine, sherry, whatever it is right now. I'm not too sure if it's white wine anymore. So actually, I think it's going to really add a good flavor. You might want to try this with a little bit of sherry. That might be quite nice, actually. Nice dry sherry in there. Okay, let's get the beans in there. So I'm going to be a bit more careful. I don't want to break them up too much. They're going to get quite cooked anyways, because this is going to be in the oven for a long time. So a long, slow bake. All right. Oh, that is looking good already. Okay. Now, add in that. Make sure there's any bits and pieces. Add in that beef stock. I don't know if I'm going to get it all in there. Nah, that's okay. All right, I'm going to save that for later because we still got to come back after the first hour of cooking and get the Panko breadcrumbs in there. So if we need more liquid, and that'll go in. All right, let's get this off to one side. This is looking pretty good. Take that off the heat because it's going to go in the oven. All right, so I'm going to, first hour, it's going to be covered. just steaming away inside there. And that's we're gonna do a slow bake. So 325 degrees Fahrenheit, 160 degrees Celsius, 1 hour. And then I'll see you back here because that's where we're going to add the Panko breadcrumbs. And if we need a little bit more of this liquid, we'll add that too. All right, see you back here then. It's been an hour in the oven and smelling pretty good. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah. All right. So, doesn't really look like we need to add that little bit extra liquid in there. I think we're still pretty well there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Panko breadcrumbs across the top. What they're going to do is just kind of soak up some of the liquid, and now we're going to bake it with the top off. So we get a little bit of browning happening on top here. Just a little bit of a crust buildup. On a regular cassoulet, I think I said it right that time. In a regular cassoulet, you would have the duck fat and all, and the way they bake it, it creates a crust. But we don't always have duck fat around, and we don't have hours and hours to bake this. So this is going to make our faux crust. And just got to nice to have those breadcrumbs on there, isn't it? Yes, this may not be an exact French cassoulet, but it is a Kuma's Kitchen cassoulet, and it is going to be fantastic. That's going to be dinner for a couple of nights, I think, because that's a lot there. That'll be dinner tonight, and we'll have leftovers tomorrow. Leftovers always so good. You know, you get the when leftovers are sitting around, you get that extra flavor. The flavor just deepens and builds up. It's like a leftover lasagna or anything like that. I just love that. All right, I think that's looking pretty nice. I'm tempted to throw just a little liquid in around the side here, just to bring that up a bit more. Just a little bit. That's going to soak up into those breadcrumbs. I don't want to pour it over top because it's just going to mess up the breadcrumbs. Let's put those around the side here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's good. All right, so actually, yeah, we just about used it all, didn't we? All right. Okay, it's going to go back in the oven. Still at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, sorry, for 160 or 160 degrees Celsius for another hour. So I'll see you back here in an hour, and then dinner's going to be ready. All right, look at this. So this has been another hour in the oven at 325 or 160 and uncovered. So look at that on top there. We've got this nice crust has formed on here. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's just, oh, it looks so good in there. Looking forward to dinner tonight. All right, if you like this recipe and you're going to make this, well, stick around, check out the channel. There's a lot more original Kevin Riley Kuma's Kitchen recipes on here. Quite a few years worth now. They come out once a week, so make sure that you're subscribed and also that you click that notification bell so you don't miss them when they come out. Now, if you'd like to help support Kuma's Kitchen and making more of these, it's easy to become a patron. Just the link is down below. Please go to Patreon and consider becoming a patron of Kuma's Kitchen. Now, go. Make this delicious looking cassoulet and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.